Strapping on a pair of skis and hurtling down an icy gradient at hundreds of kilometers per hour is enough to strike fear into the heart of the bravest of souls. Imagine doing it blind. This is the story of Kevin Alderton. In 1998, Kevin was serving as a sergeant with the British Army. One night, after leaving a London bar, he and a friend witnessed a woman being assaulted. Restraining the attackers, the pair called to the doorman of the venue for assistance.
The bouncer went inside to the club and we thought to ring the police, but transpired that he'd actually just gone in to rally up these guys' friends, and around 25 to 30 of them came across the road. I was obviously kicked and punched to the floor. Somebody actually pulled my arms out and knelt on my wrists and drove their fingers into my eyes. It wasn't until the next morning that I was actually driving home that I started getting blobs and flashes in front of my eyes, and I sneezed, and when I opened both my eyes went black because the eyes had hemorrhaged, and my retinas had come away from the optic nerve.
Kevin was left with around 6% vision. His left eye is like a heavily frosted window, only able to perceive light and dark, while he describes the vision in his right eye as similar to a slashed cinema screen, littered with black specks and lines. An active man, aged 26, Kevin's world understandably fell apart.
Probably in the next 2 years was the hardest of my life. In short, I was just wrenched off this earth. I was absolutely devastated. To lose, to receive a permanent injury is one thing, but to lose a sense, or a good part of a sense is another. And I literally thought my life was over.
But help was at hand. Kevin was put in touch with St Dunstan's, a charity that's dedicated to the long-term care and rehabilitation of blind ex-servicemen. They picked him up, dusted him off, and got him on the road to recovery. Based at their national centre in Brighton, Kevin was able to receive both the emotional and technical support that would help him get on with his life.
But the most important thing to us is the...
You start looking around you, forgive the pun, but, and you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, these guys are getting on with it. Maybe I can, I can do that as well. And it's silly things, making yourself a cup of tea for the first time, about burning yourself. Things we all take for granted during the day.
Not only did St Dunstan's help with day-to-day life, but it was also there that Kevin found the inspiration for his next challenge. A keen skier prior to losing his sight, he got back on the slopes with their help, and after progressing to race with the British adaptive ski team, hit upon his latest quest.
I just decided, I was going to set the world's first ever blind speed skiing world record. And if I can inspire somebody to get out there and do something that they wouldn't normally do, it just shows what can be achieved if you really put your mind to it. Everyone said I was mad when I came up with the idea of speed skiing, but I just knew there was a way I could do it.
And so began the hard training that the attempt would require. The world's top speed skiers can achieve speeds of around 250 kilometers per hour. But Kevin was setting his sights on a blind speed skiing world record of 160 k's, or 100 miles per hour. With the help of St Dunstan's, he set off for France. The French alpine resort of Les Arcs is a haven for speed skiers. Its famous Flying Kilometre hosted a demonstration event at the Albertville Winter Olympic Games in 1992. Kevin spent over 3 months at the resort, training and familiarising himself with the conditions. But being blind, things are a little different for Kevin. He's reliant on someone else to guide him down the slopes via radio communications. That man is his coach, Norman Clark, a professional speed skier with the British team.
Being sighted and speed skiing, it isn't actually a requirement, which might sound a bit daft. We're almost skiing blind as it is. When we ski into our position, it's such that we're looking as close to the snow as possible to keep our head into the most aerodynamic shape as possible. And when you learn the tracks like Les Arcs, you feel the ground with your feet. It's your feet that are your eyes, and this is what I try to teach Kevin. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Relying on Norman to guide him down the steep runs requires a relationship based on mutual trust. One mistake from Norman or Kevin could prove disastrous, but Kevin's mantra, and indeed his website, is no sight, no fear.
Fear is an emotion, and emotions can be controlled. And, you know, you've just got to tell yourself that you can do it. And if you've got the confidence to go out and do something, then fear just becomes, you know, just a part of the process.
Nice and slow, that's good, that's good.
The record attempt was to require serious planning. Kevin and Norman spent 3 to 4 hours a day on the lower slopes, practicing starts, stops, and the radio communications so crucial to the effort. Each repetition further increased confidence, and Kevin was looking forward to his attempt during the resort's Open Gliese event. The weather, however, had other ideas. Heavy snow caused the cancellation of the competition, and with it, Kevin's chances of achieving his ambition faded. Just days later, however, the weather clears enough for the authorities to piece the track, and the attempt is back on. All the months of training and practice would come down to just 15 seconds. After edging into position, Kevin sets off. All goes to plan until Kevin starts to drift to the left. Adjusting position, his skis cross, and disaster strikes. Despite his fall, Kevin passes the second timing marker at 162.45 kilometers or 100.94 miles per hour, creating a world record and achieving his personal goal.
If I've inspired somebody to go out and do something they wouldn't normally do, then what I've done here today is, you know, all worthwhile. You know, I've got a world record out of it. I've achieved my aim of 160k, so 162. So I'll be back here next year to get to 170, 180, 190, 200s. You know, let's have it.
Kevin now hopes to go full-time as a speed skier and compete against sighted skiers on the pro circuit.
I suppose time will tell as to how good Kevin will get, but I would predict within 3 years Kevin should have his 200 km/h speed, which is a really good target to get. And there's an awful lot of sighted people who can't speed ski at 200k.
Whatever Kevin's future holds, it's been shaped by the past. Had he not taken the action he did that night in 1998, things could have been very different. It's a decision he's happy to live with.
No, I never regret it. You know, I look at my sort of hazy reflection in the mirror every morning, and it's a constant reminder of what I've done. You know, you are what you are at the end of the day. You either accept that sort of thing goes on, or you try and intervene and do something about it. Ask the question, would I do it again? Yes, I would.
Well done. I think that's it.